the ASP multi-million-dollar World Tour. Welcome to the 1989 O'Neill Pepsi Cold Water Classic from Steamer Lane at Lighthouse Point here in Santa Cruz, California. The world's top pro surfers will compete man-on-man for $80,000, and 30,000 fans have lined this natural arena to witness the spectacle.
Surfing at its best.
Rad surf and totally rad babes.
Meet the pros.
The surfing's radical.
Just tear it, you know? Kill it. Surf really good. That's my strategy.
Being used to the cold water, I think, makes a hell of a difference, and knowing the break, you know?
I'm the kind of surfer that if I see someone out in the water doing something, I've got to get out there and do it, you know. I've got to sort of try and match whoever's out in the water.
You know, I was runner-up last year, and I'm hoping, you know, they continue the progress to the competition to hopefully have a chance at winning it this year.
The O'Neill Pepsi Cold Water Classic gets underway right after this. The Cold Water Classic is the equivalent of a Groundhog's Day. Here in the Bay Area, it's the signal that a long, cold winter is coming to an end, and the passage to the rites of spring has finally arrived. And right next to Steamer Lane, one of America's oldest amusement parks comes to life. The Santa Cruz Boardwalk. The Big Dipper is one of the oldest wooden roller coasters in America and still pulls off some unreal moves. Now that's not bad for a candidate of the Smithsonian Institute. Like the Marie Celine, the Blue Dolphin, and the Enchanted Sea reflects in the wake of the Santa Cruz Harbor. Here the gate opens to some of the best sailing action on the West Coast.
It's great. We can depend on wind all summer long.
Here the wind blows in from the Aleutians, attracting windsurfers from all over the world to Waddell Creek, just a few miles up the coast from Santa Cruz's Steamer Lane. And about an hour's drive south of Santa Cruz, heading towards Steinbeck country, you drive through the famous, mouth-watering artichoke fields of the Salinas Valley. This is the gateway to what Steinbeck and Ansel Adams called God's country. At the Monterey Wharf, fresh seafood arrives daily. The area is picture perfect, especially for the hundreds of artists that make Monterey their home. Sleepy bed and breakfast cottages grace the coast of Pacific Grove's Lover's Point. And Cannery Row's famous Monterey Aquarium unlocks the secret of the deep, fertile, cold canyons of the bay and explores the origins of the thick, chilling waves that march in from the Aleutians. This sets the stage for some of the best surfing action on the ASP World Tour. Again, welcome to the second annual O'Neill Pepsi Cold Water Classic here at Steamer Lane in Santa Cruz, California. The bluffs serve as a natural amphitheater where thousands of spectators easily view the best professional surfing has to offer. Just 13 months ago was the debut of this event, and into the finals marched two young upstarts. Hawaii's Marty clashed with California's Richie. It was 45 minutes of bottom turns, off the lips, wrap-around cutbacks, and re-entry floaters. Collins and Thomas went at one another relentlessly, outmatching the other's best moves like a pair of up-and-coming boxers. The champion turned out to be Richie Collins, known by some as Skeletor, whose brash style of surfing and shaven head made him the talk of the surfing world.
And today's main event should be just as exciting as last year. Joining me now, the 1977 World Professional Surfing Champion, Shaun Tomson, a 14-year veteran. He's won 11 major career victories. And Shaun, I know you as a model, a businessman, a clothing designer, a wetsuit engineer of sorts, but you are a surfer, foremost a surfer, 1977 World Champion. Let's talk about some of your highlights over your great 14-year career.
Well, I think my competitive highlight was winning the world title in 1977. That was a very important moment for me. I've had a lot of great competitive moments, but a lot of the best moments of my surfing have just been free surfing sessions at places like Sunset Beach. I think that's why I've stayed in the sport and surfed for so long, is because I just love it so much.
Well, I'm excited that you're with me up here, but it's kind of a catch-22. I'm disappointed you got knocked out in the competition. Let's talk about your experiences out here, at least in this contest, up to when you, I believe, lost out in the third round.
Yeah, I got beaten by Marty, a young Hawaiian guy who's had a really good run last year. I think he went from number 42 in the world to number 11 in the world, so he had a great year last year. And I got in a situation where I was just a little bit selective yesterday. I needed a good scoring fourth wave. I had 12 minutes to do it in, and within those 12 minutes I couldn't seem to come up with a good ride. So I was caught by being a little bit too over-selective.
So, Shaun Tomson was defeated by Marty Thomas, and Marty advanced to the quarterfinals. Early this morning, the quarterfinals got underway. High tide conditions, chilly 49-degree water, but some hot surfing. First up, East Coaster. Todd Holland met England's Martin Potter.
Get on to highlights from more of the quarterfinals, where the defending world champion Barton Lynch faced the 1988 O'Neill cold water runner-up Marty Thomas. We want to take you on a trip down under the Bay Area, where an underwater treasure chest of natural beauties lies.
The animal life in that region, most especially in Monterey, is so spectacular that when I think of doing images for any project, cold water animals, or shooting in a place that is as luxurious as the finest coral gardens in Tahiti, I think of Monterey.
This abundance of beauty has brought many Hollywood directors into the Bay Area to shoot feature films, like world-renowned director of photography Al Giddings. Al is known by moviegoers for his work in James Bond films, The Deep, and his most recent undertaking as director of photography in James Cameron's $50 million underwater sci-fi adventure, The Abyss.
Roll cameras, market, and action. I would say it is a love story. It is a love story set against the background of this intense thriller type environment. It has action, but it's not about action.
Abyss was particularly challenging because Cameron has done such super pictures like Terminator and Aliens and so on, and the moves were very compound moves, and we would pull focus, move in, and you know, those shots were particularly challenging, but shots that we could do because, you know, we just understand how to move with the camera and how to balance yourself so that you can be fluid with the equipment.
The Abyss was definitely one of Al's all-time favorite movie-making experiences. But for over 30 years, the Monterey Bay has been his favorite location.
Monterey Bay area Northern California is some of the most luxurious and richest water in the world. I mean, the kelp forests are a clue to just how rich it is. I mean, here you have one of the fastest growing plants in the world. I mean, at times the water is so rich at Monterey that the kelp is growing close to a foot a day in spring and summer when conditions are just right.